Thank you for visiting our channel, where we dive deep within human psychology, conduct, and dialogue. In this video, we'll unveil 3 potent messages they are unable to ignore. These are tried and true methods to ensure you won't ever be overlooked again, regardless if about strengthening bonds and igniting curiosity or receiving the reaction you've always desired. These crucial words will work wonders if you're prepared to get proficient in the skill of enticing communication. Because this video is a game, pay attention. Share. Let's begin lesson 3 messages they cannot withstand never being disregarded again. Introduction to Unforgettable's Power Communications in the highly linked world of today. We receive innumerable messages daily, from emails to text messages and postings on social media that stand out, and making sure your message is understood with someone on an emotional and personal level can be difficult, regardless of whether you're attempting to strengthen a bond with, grab someone's interest, or create a lasting impression of your creation and delivery. Your message has the power to change everything. This lesson is meant to assist you. Become proficient in the art of communicating in a that catches attention and assures you're never overlooked again. We'll explore 3 major sorts of communications that trigger emotional reactions, generate curiosity, and construct. By the end of this lesson, a connection, you'll understand the fundamentals of psychology that make it impossible to ignore these messages, and how to use them successfully in section on your own life. One's comprehension of the reasons behind messages overlooked prior to delving into the facts about creating irresistible messages that are crucial to comprehend why a large number of messages are ignored in the first position, with a disproportionate amount of data to process. People typically remove everything that doesn't instantly connect with them. These are some of the most typical explanations for communications fail to catch attention: lack of customization. People want to feel that you are speaking to them directly, not just sending a generic message. When a message lacks personal relevance, it gets overlooked. Personalization indicates that you care and have put thought into your lack of emotional expression in communication. Human behavior is driven by appeal emotions. Messages that are unable to access an emotional center are frequently disregarded if your message doesn't make someone feel something. Whether it's interest, it's more likely to be enthusiasm or empathy. To be disregarded, bad timing is critical of a well-written message sent at the wrong time can be overlooked. Understanding when your recipient is most receptive to communication is key to ensuring your message is seen and valued. Generic or unoriginal in a world filled with repetitive phrases and overused cliches. A message that lacks creativity or originality will likely be filtered out as just another text. People respond to messages that feel fresh, intriguing, or unique. Recognizing these dangers will establish the stage for crafting the 3 compelling messages that not only prevent these typical blunders, but also captivate the recipient section. 2. The first message, the mystery message. The first type of message we'll discuss is what I like to call the mystery message. This sort of message plays on the human tendency to crave resolution to incomplete information. When you present someone with just enough knowledge to spark their interest, but leave them hanging. Their brains put in extra effort to fill in the inadequacies in the psychology of curiosity is a powerful force. Encourager. When someone is given a communication that piques their interest in, the brain goes into anticipating mode. Must close this knowledge gap, can prevent your message from being disregarded. What psychologists refer to as the, in essence, information gap theory occurs when people start to notice a difference between what they are aware of and are aware that they must close that, creating the mysterious message with a gap. The hidden message is straightforward in its framework that you wish to offer as a hook, just enough to pique the recipient's interest, but without disclosing every detail. Here are some instances that I recently came up with, of an item that will alter how I'm not sure if you're aware of the topic, however prepared for it. But I have something I'll wait. But I've been meaning to tell you, I recently discovered that until the time is right, something truly intriguing about you. However, I worry if I should post it. These messages work because they play on the recipient's curiosity by presenting a component of the unknown, that you produce a psychological requirement, that they look for additional details that result in a reply with the secret message in actual life situations in which the secret message is extremely adaptable and useful in various situations, whether you're in an attempt to obtain a romantic partner's attention, start a dialogue with a co-worker, or re-engage an individual who has. Being unresponsive is important in this situation, since you like to guarantee that your mystery is pertinent and sufficiently piques interest, without playing the key too much. The lesson to be learned from this is that people are inherently motivated to look for answers by creating an information gap. You leverage this inclination and make it more difficult for your message should be ignored. Section 3. The compliment message, the second message that is unable to. The compliment message should be ignored, but not just any praise. There's a craft to it. To creating meaningful compliments profoundly and experience genuine praise that focus on specific qualities or characteristics, especially those that correspond with a person's perception of themselves or they are proud of, have a substantially greater possibility of making an impact. The science of compliments and their impact praises have a unique psychological consequence. When someone receives a praise, it activates a release of dopamine, the feel-good chemical in the brain. Thus, positive emotional response not only makes the receiver feel happy, but also builds a relationship between you and the individual. Your giving flattering remarks can be especially efficient since they satisfy a fundamental human need for approval and acknowledgement, but generic praise is frequently rejected. Saying you look good, for instance, might be valued, but it's not likely to make a lasting impact or stand out. However, an expertly designed, customized remark that appeals to the essence of a person's identity, irresistible creation of the ideal compliment to make sure it must be significant and difficult to overlook. To be more precise, the more detailed your compliment, the more intimate it seems. Instead than saying, "You're smart," I respect how you handle issues with such innovative solutions. Genuine individuals are able to discern when sincere compliments as opposed to when they're merely compliments, so make sure a compliment is something you genuinely think about, the individual in question. Character praise regarding someone's personality or character frequently resonates deeper than those pertaining to appearance. Complimenting someone's resilience, generosity or intelligence might make a stronger impact. Examples of irresistible among the compliments are, "I've always been impressed by the capacity to remain composed under pressure circumstances. It's something I respect how you manage difficulties. With such grace is definitely inspiring. You possess a remarkable ability to create. Everyone in your vicinity feels heard and appreciated when and how to make advantage of the compliment message." The compliment. The most powerful messages are those that are unexpectedly giving someone a praise when people least anticipate it, such in a casual discussion or maybe just a straightforward text messages might surprise them and making them feel truly valued, which can be a strong tool in both personal relationships and professional contexts. Section 4. The empowering message. The third message that cannot be. Ignore this message of empowerment. Type of message taps into the universal people's need to feel inspired and empowered and competent. It's about demonstrating the someone with potential you perceive, have faith in them, and support their development. The fundamental reason why empowerment works of human drive is the requirement for self-actualization, is the aspiration to one's most complete messages that encourage someone to take advantage of this need by providing support, encouragement, or acknowledgement of their skills. These messages are difficult to ignore. Since they address a direct person's desire for progress and fulfillment, empowerment messages also establish trust and rapport. When you empower someone, you present yourself as who has a stake in their success. They are more likely to appreciate your relationship and maintain your dominance over. Recognize how to create empowerment messages that are meant to empower. B. Telling the person that you are encouraging. You have faith in their capacity to accomplish their objectives or triumph over issues with an eye toward empowerment in the future. The most effective messages concentrate on the potential for growth or achievement in the future, personalized like compliments. Empowering messages should feel unique and specific to the individual's particular strengths or circumstances. Examples of empowerment among the messages are, I know you're going to do incredible things, you're talented. With determination to achieve it, you've already conquered so much, and I don't have any doubt that you'll be successful in anything that comes. Next, you have limitless potential. I can't watch to see what you accomplish in the... Using empowerment in the future, messages that empower people in an effective way. Messages can be especially helpful when someone is struggling or at a crossroads. Juncture in their lives by providing support and faith in their abilities. You position yourself as a source of support, making it nearly hard for them to ignore your message. The secret message in romantic connections. The secret message is a great tool to spark interest in romantic partnerships, particularly in the initial phases when are you attempting to create anticipation or renew it over time. People are innately attracted to novelty, and preserving a sense of mystery can maintain a dynamic and exciting connection. Thrilling instance where you're texting someone you've been in a casual relationship and would like to maintain the momentum without appearing to be too forward. You could say, I've recently learned something that reminded me of you, but I'll wait to tell you in person. It's too good to share over text. I've been thinking about anything that might surprise you, but for now, I'll keep you guessing. These kinds of communications will maintain the other person interested and curious about what comes next, forcing them to react and take a look, looking forward to your upcoming timing of the interaction and fresh context relationships, whilst yet in the process of mystery messages are used to get to know one another. A little too much mystery at the wrong time can appear evasive. Find equilibrium between sharing and keeping something private. Items long-term. Play relationships in established relationships. Mystery messages can rekindle curiosity and passion. Use them to introduce a sense of surprise in your normal chats, retaining the relationship fresh and exciting. The professional message of compliment conditions in work environments. Compliments can be effective instruments for establishing rapport and strengthening working relationships, but they must be handled carefully to make sure they appears genuine and professional. The focus should be on compliments, professional aptitudes, competencies, and contributions, as opposed to individual traits. Example, you want to acknowledge a colleague's contribution during a project meeting. You might say, the way you managed that client negotiation was truly amazing. How composed you are under pressure was an excellent model for the team. I've always appreciated your leadership abilities, but the presentation today truly demonstrated your capacity to motivate trust in other people. These kinds of receiving compliments not only makes the feel valued, while simultaneously positioning you as someone who appreciates and acknowledges timing and context of other contributions during a significant project or after praising someone's work, can leave a mark during high-pressure situations. Long-term effects of casual office discussions. Compliments don't always have to be formal. A quick compliment during informal discussions can develop friendship, and have faith in the message of empowerment in friendships, which frequently flourish on encouragement and support, which makes the A message of empowerment that fits in naturally. Friends in these connections look to one another, other for assistance on validity and encouragement, and a message of empowerment can aid in fortifying the connection and expanding your connection. Example: your friend is about to start a new career or go on a difficult project, and you'd like to provide the assistance. You may claim to have this: "I've seen how hard you've worked, and I'm confident you'll do well at this. You should be proud of your progress. Pushing, you will succeed." Amazing things that these messages of empowering not only strengthens your friends have faith in themselves, but they also demonstrate your sincere interest in their timing and context of success during transitions or milestones. Provide messages of empowerment. When your friend is going through a life shift, such as starting a new career, moving to a new city, or negotiating a challenging circumstance during periods of uncertainty. Empowering messages can be especially significant when your friend is experiencing uncertain or insecure about yourself. Words can improve one's confidence. They must continue to move forward. Typical mistakes to avoid when forwarding these messages. While these three forms of the purpose of messaging is to make them irresistible, there are typical mistakes that people can commit, making them less efficient or maybe ineffective. Let's examine some of the errors that avoid using these potent overuse of communication techniques. Mystery. One of the most significant errors in the message people make with the mystery message is using it too often. If every interaction is cloaked in the mystery, it can come across as manipulative or insincere. People need a balance between curiosity and openness. If you produce too much mystery, it could lead to annoyance instead, as opposed to use the mystery to pique curiosity about how to avoid it. Message carefully, particularly in new connections. Ensure that when you disclose the solution to your mystery, it's worth the anticipation you've developed up. Providing insincere praises, compliments that don't feel real, are easy to recognize and can erode your credibility. People can sense when they're being flattered for the sake of it, and this can lead to distrust. Real praises should come from a position of true appreciation and adoration on how to stay away from it alone. When you truly mean to commend, don't flatter someone merely to win their favor. Concentrate on the things that you actually value in the other individual. The greater particular and genuine, the better. Empowering without practical. The purpose of support, empowering messages, is to encourage and uplift. But if they're not coupled with real assistance or practical guidance, they might get as meaningless cliches that only state, "Someone who can do it for you," might not be sufficient if they don't believe they possess the instrument, resources, or assistance to achieve success. How to avoid. It is a follow-up to your message of empowerment. Provides practical guidance, support, or offers of support. Personalize your empowerment message to the specific difficulties the individual is dealing with. Recognize their difficulties while strengthening their long-term strengths. Section 7. Effects of this texts that constantly use mystery. Messages of encouragement and support can have a significant influence on your connections. These are both personal and professional. Messages build trust, intrigue, and connection. 3 pillars of effective communication. Strengthening personal relationships. By sending messages that tap into curiosity, validation, and empowerment, you are signaling to the other person that you actually see them. This kind of dialogue deepens, creates intimacy and emotional ties, creating a professional, building rapport in a work environment. Gaining proficiency with these kinds of messages can make you more noticeable as a leader and a co-worker who is perceptive and encouraging. praising co-workers, and enabling group members to establish a more favorable work environment. Cooperation and trust is becoming more efficient. Overall, the communicator is proficient in these messaging increases your effectiveness. Communicator, by being aware of the psychological principles that make people respond, curiosity, validation, and motivation, you are more equipped to speak in a way that resonates with others. Conclusion: crafting messages that leave a lasting impression. The three types of messages, mystery, praise, and empowerment, are based on universal psychological fundamentals. They function because they access the core. Humans have a natural curiosity. Validation and development through proficiency in these messages. You make sure your communication creates a lasting impression, gives people a sense of visibility and appreciated, and promotes closer ties. As you proceed, keep in mind that timing, authenticity, and context are crucial. The more deliberately you develop and present your messaging, the more likely you are to make an impression, be remembered, and never be disregarded. Once more, the next steps are to begin using these message formats in your daily life. Interactions illustrate the ways in which each kind of message affects your connections and which ones respond best. To practice striking the ideal balance between empowerment and a secret compliment for different scenarios. By consistently applying these principles, you'll become a master communicator, capable of captivating focus and creating significant relationships on a personal and professionally. She can't do it. To disregard you after obtaining these 3 WhatsApp messages, the likelihood is you're among the men who send a message to a female. However, it could either be ignored or read for days at a time. Struggle to create a significant conversation because she reacts with brief, limited replies that do little to fuel a deeper dialogue. If this sounds like you, and you've been getting these chilly, indifferent responses, then this is hello. This is the ideal video for you. My name is Sophia Monroe, and in the video for today, I'm revealing 3 WhatsApp secrets communications that, when sent to a woman, she'll reply immediately. Stick till the very end, as the final, there is a message that no woman can perhaps disregard. Let's start with messages that spark her curiosity. Here's a quick lesson on curiosity and why it's so powerful. When something sparks your curiosity, your brain enters what we term a state of curiosity. First, the areas of the brain responsive to discomfort light up, signaling that you're feeling uneasy because you acknowledge that there is something you don't find out. Next, which regions are in charge of learning and memory begin to work in your favor. Take in and remember information more. Essentially, you're now prepared to begin looking for solutions. And once you start discovering new information while in this condition of interest, something even more interesting happens: your brain's reward. When the system is activated, your curiosity is rewarded by your brain. Dopamine is released, which makes you feel more contented. Curiosity is a natural component of being able to spark, because we are human interest in a woman whose focus. The crucial moment you're attempting to capture. She will want to know more because she is curious, but keep in mind that you'll need to discover resourceful methods to maintain the discussion moving after gratifying that initial curiosity, or she'll quickly return to succinct, icy responses, and the conversation will die just as fast as it begun. For example, you may send, "You won't believe what I mean. You were doing in my dream last night." Simply leave that message visible. She'll probably respond by inquiring about the dream. Was about bingo. You've got her attention. You can stretch it now that you have it. Take a little break and don't share the dream with her immediately, but take advantage of the chance to guide the conversation towards something deeper, which keeps her interested for a long time. You've shared the dream now. I'm not training you to lie, but whether you made either the dream or it's something that truly occurred, take care not to turn around. Her off with what you say, for instance. If you don't really know her, probably the last thing she wants to hear is a man discussing a private dream, bringing her up when she's not looking at you in this manner. Therefore, be imaginative with your dream and pull her by using it as a springboard into a more in-depth discussion. Believe me, women are inquisitive, so if you can successfully spark that curiosity through a message, you'll get a reply. It works every time. Next, send messages that build anticipation. You need to identify the best technique to make her look forward to something that will soon take place. For instance, you may remark, I am aware of your next month is my birthday, and I believe I have an extremely intriguing concept. You could submit a message, or you'd want to hear communication such as, hey, I was at the mall the other day, and something brought to memory you. So I purchased it wondering when can I offer you your gift if you're free. I'm confident the next communication you'll get from her will be something like a thank you. You got me a gift. W. What is it? Go ahead, my man. Just go for the hook, line and sinker. Proceed. Now is the time when you can get her more engaged than she typically be, due to the fact that you've effectively cultivated a feeling of expectation based on how well you few women are able to properly frame your message. Withstand the temptation to remain involved and discover what they're anticipating or what this big idea or gift could be. So take a moment to think and come up with creative ways to build anticipation in the WhatsApp messages. You send one more example, perhaps a last one you could submit, such as if you consent to go out. This Friday, guess where I'll be? I'm willing to wager that you've never been there. Directly to the point where you're causing her curiosity while building up anticipation for something imminent, and she'll become a little more communication if it's something she actually wants to do. Once you've perfected the art of transmitting messages that induce anticipation, you'll be more than successful in achieving quick answers from ladies. Finally, the last WhatsApp messaging secret. I suppose you should master when it comes to women newly met people, or even those you've well known for providing authentic admiration, and I'm not always discussing the praise that has been given to her physical attributes, since they might be a turn-off for certain women based on who I'm referring to. Compliments here that transcend appearances and discuss who she is as an individual. For instance, if she's a businesswoman or, and depending on her field, the entrepreneur, give her praise that shows how much you value her mind, a way of thinking, and the way she takes charge. Avoid for now compliments that are solely about her body or appearance, as this can come across as offensive again. Depending on the type of woman you're dealing with, think about it. Who doesn't love a great compliment? And when people compliment you, you naturally feel forced to respond. While it might not lead to a complete conversation, it'll at least provide you with an almost instant response from the woman who had previously seemed hard to get to. So be alert. Please act quickly, because there are a lot of strategies for attracting a woman's attention via WhatsApp messages, which I've provided. These, in my opinion, are the top 3. Do you have any additional advice to share? Feel free to add them to this list in the leave a comment below, and I'll inevitably reply to you as, well, inclusion unleashes the potential of unstoppable. Mastering the art of communicating. One of the most important things is communication. Important abilities you can get via utilizing the secret message to messages of encouragement and empowerment message. A toolkit has been built for you to increase the effect of what you say, and interacting with each of these communication formats appeals to the universal desires of people, curiosity, validation, and encouragement, creating an emotional connection that compels people to respond. By using the mystery message, you introduce an element of intrigue, drawing others in eagerness and enthusiasm for the message of compliments affirms and acknowledges their value, developing a feeling of gratitude and connection, and with the empowerment message, you instill confidence and motivate people to rise to their full possibilities, enhancing the link you share. The secret to these messages' success resides in comprehending their timing and context. When applied carefully and in a genuine way, they can improve your relationships on a personal and professional level, assisting you in becoming recognized as someone who speaks with intention and purpose. But excessive use or dishonesty can reduce their efficacy. So always use these methods with sincere concern and interest, finally being proficient in this communication techniques that allow you to making a lasting impression that guarantees you are never disregarded. Once more, as you use these messages in your life, you will learn about their transformational potential for fostering trust, enhancing connections, and turning into an enhanced ability to communicate.